the first sign that you're a witch, and the most important sign, and the only sign that actually matters. Are you ready? Hello and welcome to another episode of Goddess Hangs.
Episode 76.
Woo! I'm Sadie.
And I'm Juliet. Obviously.
And we created Goddess Hangs podcast to make the world of mindset, manifestation, and magic more relatable
And fun.
Episode 76.
76.
76. You know what they say.
We get free gas. Sponsored by 76.
I didn't get it.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. Gas prices are skyrocketing right now. I loved it. Didn't get the joke, was still going along with it.
Okay.
That's what we love to see.
It's okay. Oh my gosh.
We're gonna do a fun episode this week, Signs You Are a Witch. But before we dive into that, Juliet, what's new with you?
Oh my gosh. So many things are new with me. Some big things, some funny things, some random things. I always get excited when I have a story to tell because I think I switch off from having like these wonderful stories.
Juliet's either gotten her car stolen or
you know, it is what it is. So
I love the drama.
This was a far more magical, amazing week.
Okay, good.
The biggest and the best thing that happened was Victor and I saw Paul McCartney.
Oh my God, I know. I was so jealous.
It was, we were probably 4 rows back from the furthest back place you could possibly sit. But because it was at the SoFi Stadium, which is newer.
Okay.
It's in Inglewood. They have, the screens are so big that it doesn't matter where you sit.
Nowadays, like, yeah, there's big screens. They know how to make them correctly so you can still like see even if it's a little guy down there.
So we go to see Paul McCartney, and coincidentally, 3 of my aunts and 2 of my uncles are there.
Oh, wow.
My friend Evan is there with his girlfriend. Victor's brother is there with his friends. I knew of at least 10 other people that were, like, so many people I
really
knew.
missed the memo on the Paul McCartney concert.
Were there. And it was one of the most truly spiritual experiences of my life.
Yeah.
For a few reasons. The first being that I grew up and I had the really, beautiful childhood that I had because my dad and my uncle had this incredible, like, #1 in the world Beatles tribute band. And so we got to travel, we got to go on all those cruises. I mean, I got to fall in love with music and the Beatles music, and it was like Paul McCartney and John Lennon were characters in my life, the way that, like, if you probably grew up hearing about Jesus and Mary, these are the songs and the stories that were truly indoctrinated into me over and over and over. And I worked the shows when I was old enough to for years. And anyways, and Victor too, just kept getting smacked with these waves of emotion. And one of them was like, I had so much gratitude in my heart that, like, because this man, who, by the way, exists, like, I think it never occurred to me that, like, he's a real person.
Totally.
Like, he's like, there's no way.
It's just if anyone's on a pedestal, it's Paul McCartney.
Yeah. I just was feeling like so much. I was like, thank you for being a teenage boy who trusted his visions and picked up the instruments, because you have no idea, but my family had a beautiful life because of you following your intuition and trusting your gifts and choosing to follow them instead of being a carpenter or something else that he probably could have done, So there was like that big rush, and then feeling my family there because my uncle was there, and just like that was very specific that I felt. At one point, so he had this amazing band, and at one point the band all left the stage and he stood there by himself with his guitar and played Blackbird.
Oh my God. I have chills just thinking
For
about that.
50 to 70,000 people. And like to hear, like to see the imagery and the fanfare and the drum, like all of it stripped away, and here's this man with his instrument and his gift. And I kid you not, I went home that night and was like writing song after song after song. I was like it woke something up in me. He did Hey Jude. He did I think he played 36 songs.
Wow.
Played for almost 3 hours.
Wow.
And he did this whole tribute to George Harrison. It was so beautiful. And then, oh my God, this part, Sadie. So he said, we're going to do something we've never done before. And he starts playing, I've got a feeling deep inside. Oh yeah, right? And I'm like, oh, this is a song he wrote with John, and I know John's part and whatever. Up on the screen comes a video.
Oh no.
I know.
Oh.
Of John Lennon singing his part, and they were live from late 70s, and they were able to isolate his voice, and they sang it together.
I have tears in my eyes. Oh my God.
They sang it together, and I closed my eyes and I was like, oh my God, like what? And they had never done that in a tour before.
I'm crying.
And it was the most moving. And I was, again, another thing where it's like, oh, you hear, John Lennon. It was this man's friend. It was his business partner. It was his bandmate. And like, he's been gone for so many years, and like, his music lives on, his voice lives on. Like, people are going to be playing the Beatles for a long time. And Paul turns 80 next month.
Wow.
And like, I hope he lives to 130, but I don't know how long he's going to tour. But next time we're sitting in the front row.
I have to go.
Oh, yeah, I'm bringing
what
everyone
email
I
list do I
know.
need to get on so I know when he's playing?
So it was just like, and then I had this moment. I felt like God was with me. And I really don't feel that too often, okay?
Juliet felt the Lord.
I feel God in this Chili's tonight. At one point, this voice came into my head and said, this is what alignment looks like. Mm-hmm. This is what alignment looks like. This is what alignment feels like. Soak it in. Like, this is somebody who their entire life has put their desires and what they knew was right to do and what they knew they came here to do first. Mm-hmm. And I just kept getting chills in my eyes, and he would tell stories in between, and you would hear him talk, and me and Victor were just like crying together. Like,
oh my God.
Like, oh my God, he's right here and he's talking to us. He's right here. Like, he's alive. Like, he's real. It was like meeting Santa or Jesus or whatever. Like, it was so overwhelming. And then at one point, I felt this weird during Hey Jude, like tingling in my lowerness. Okay.
Is your baby going to be named Jude?
My sister claimed that name already.
Thanks a lot, Melanie.
But I told Victor, I said, you're going to think I'm crazy, but like my womb is being blessed right now. And he's like, what? I said, I'm telling you, it's being blessed. Like, there's something happening to me, right? Like, it was just...
Juliet's going to birth the next Paul McCartney.
There was
Maybe
something...
you're going to name it Paul.
There was something like that of like, you're going to bring through a child that does something really special. And I've not, like, I always thought, I'll have kids and they'll be great. But like, there was something really profound in that moment. Oh my God, Sadie, it was... I still can't believe, like, it felt like a miracle. It felt like a blessing. The entire night was a blessing and a spiritual experience. I can't compare it to anything.
I have to go. Oh my gosh. But I know what you mean, and it's cool because you're seeing someone that has built their legacy over so long, but the way you're describing, like, seeing someone in alignment and doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and it being like spiritual, like, that's how I felt when I went to go see Harry Styles, where I was just like, I'm seeing just like this person, like, so joyful and so present and doing exactly what they want to be doing and like wished and hoped for, and like he's just in the beginning, and I'm excited but like that's what I was like, oh, this is like a rock star, this is someone who has it, whatever it is, you know. Now we all have, but it's just a matter of it, sometimes it's buried deep in us and we have to pull that it out. I feel like, but there's nothing like it. Fun fact, Paul McCartney has seen Craig perform stand-up.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and he said, thank God I didn't know when I was on stage. But when he got off stage, or maybe he didn't know when he was up there, but when he got off stage, somebody said, oh my God, Paul was in the crowd and we saw him laughing. And then he wanted to kind of like go find him and like say hi, but he had snuck through the kitchens and already left. But he saw, fun fact, he's laughed at my boyfriend's stories before.
Oh, I love that.
Cool.
Oh my God, Sir Paul McCartney
has laughed at Craig's fart jokes, so
oh my God,
he really is just a regular guy. No one can deny a fart joke.
It was such a gift. And, you know, he really could have gone and played for an hour and everybody would have understood. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But
he wanted to be
almost
there.
3 hours.
He loved it.
It was so incredible. So
wow.
I will not be missing that as long as that continues. So that was, I think, the biggest thing that I wanted. Oh, and then at one point I felt my grandma there because the entire stadium was sold out, but there was one empty seat next to me. Just weird. And I like felt her there, and I asked my aunts afterwards, I'm like, did you feel Beavy at this for like a little moment? And they started crying. They're like, yes, we used to bring her to Paul McCartney concerts. I was like, I felt her. It was just,
there was a seat for her.
It was heavenly. It was heavenly.
Wow.
Victor and I feel like we saw a child being born. You know what I mean? Like it was just like a miracle. It was amazing. So wow. That's the first thing that's new that I'm still like kind of floating on. And I told him, I said, gosh, you know I do so many different things, and I run my business and I co-run our business. And I was like, at the end of the day, like if this many people like were moved by a song that I wrote, like that's always going to be in my heart, you know? So I was like, okay, Juliet, like let's get it together. Let's write some more music.
Yes, we're excited to hear it.
So that's my spiritual story. I have a silly story, a spooky story, and a sentence. Which one would you like?
Give us the sentence first.
Okay, the sentence is, I have started creating cartoon squirrel art.
Oh, yes.
I don't think I'm selling it or anything. I'm trying to maybe make it an NFT. We'll see.
If you are really dying to see it, you got to join the Patreon, because the Discord has been eating it up and loving it.
Let me tell you.
There might be some merch soon. Who knows?
Let me tell you a little hint. They're all puns. Think Gilmore squirrels, mean squirrels, who run the world, squirrels. So that's been a fun little hobby of mine. I've been animating some cartoon squirrels.
I think one of my favorites was My Squirrel by The Temptations.
The Temptations singing My Squirrel. They all have their little suits.
My squirrel, talking about my squirrel.
My squirrel. That's the sentence. Okay. Silly or spooky?
Let's go spooky, and then we'll ease the spookiness with the silly.
Okay. So this is like the spooky and the history buff in me, and I was excited to tell you this. And you'll either find this so interesting or so uninteresting.
There will be no in between.
So Victor and I were taking a walk a couple nights ago, and we go down the street and we see this huge structure. It's like a big pole, and there's like a horn on the top. And he goes, oh, that's an air raid siren. I'm like, I've never seen one of those in real life.
Not that I've noticed. I suppose you have to look up to like...
Right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, please take a picture of that, because when we get back home, like, I need to do some research, because this is just spooky. You could tell it was really old. It was right off of like a main street. So I get home. In Los Angeles County, there are over 200 air raid sirens scattered throughout the city that were put in the city in the 50s. And it was because of the Cold War and the fear of nuclear missiles. Yeah. But what I didn't know is every last Friday of the month for years in Los Angeles throughout the 50s and the first half of the 60s, they would test the sirens. So once a month, you'd hear the ooh, and it's a horrifying sound.
Oh, okay, so in Wisconsin, it still happens, but it's not an air raid test. It's a tornado siren test every Wednesday afternoon. The sirens go off, and it sounds exactly like that.
Okay, it's this.
So I grew up with that. So that noise, if they went off, I would just be like, oh, there's like I probably wouldn't notice because I kind of forgot about that. But my whole life, every Wednesday, I would hear that. Like in school, like the teachers would be like, oh, and like be quiet for a minute while it went off.
Oh my gosh.
So I grew up with that. And the noise you're making, I feel like it sounds like the noise. But yeah, in Wisconsin, like that was every Wednesday, and I'm sure it still happens.
Oh my gosh. So my mind was blown. And then then a man.
But air raid is spooky.
Air raid is spooky because, like, oh my God. So I did some more research. A man named Dennis something, I don't remember his last name, mapped out every single siren in Los Angeles. He made an interactive map, and you can click on it and it'll tell you exactly where it is and a photo of it. And so I was naming off some other ones. So Victor and I are driving around. He's like, oh, didn't you say there was one on this street and this street? I'm like, don't you think we would have noticed? There it is. They're everywhere. You just don't notice them.
Yeah, because it's just a pole, or what does it look like?
It's a pole.
Like eye level.
At eye level, it's a pole. If you look up,
then there's a horn.
There's a huge siren thing. But it just tripped me out. And there were all these like articles about people who lived here in Los Angeles in the 50s and 60s who remember going to work at the barber shop and doing whatever they were doing. And they'd have to, last Friday of every month, there'd be this horrifying sound. And then by the 70s, they realized that more than half of the people would not have been able to hear it anyways because the city like spread out.
Oh.
And then they realized, why are we even like, what is somebody going to do if a missile's coming? Like, go under a table? Like, what are you going to do?
Have a few minutes to be scared.
Yeah. So in the 80s,
rather than be surprised.
They unplugged all of them, but they decided to keep them all around because they're too expensive to, they just didn't want to pay to like remove them all.
Yeah.
So there's hundreds of them left over from the Cold War at normal corners throughout Los Angeles.
Yeah, I've never noticed them, but I'm sure I've walked past them a bajillion times.
So if you live in LA, keep your eyes up. And it's just kind of creepy.
Yeah.
And it was really close to where I live.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I bet this would have been really loud at this time. And it also said that when they finally said, okay, we're not doing this anymore because half the people can't hear it, and what's the point? So many citizens were like relieved. They're like, thank God. No one wants to hear this sound. But you heard they did a test every single Wednesday?
They probably still do because we have tornado sirens.
Do you have a basement in your house?
Mm-hmm. Everyone has a basement in Wisconsin.
So that's where you would go?
I thought it was bizarre to not have basements when I moved here. I was like, what do you mean? I thought houses just came with basements. When I moved here, I was like, what do you mean there's no basements? That was such a bizarre concept to me.
I went to Chicago as a little girl because I have family there. And I remember I was like, wait, there's a level under, like it blew my mind, and it still does. I'm like, people are like, oh, it's our finished basements.
Yeah.
And it's for like tornadoes and safety and stuff.
I mean,
Look how dumb I sound. What is a basement for?
I don't know if that's its express purpose. Our Midwest folks, what are the other purposes of a basement? I mean, some people have a finished basement and it's an extra living space. Some people use it as storage and it's not finished. It's just like concrete floors and you'll put your laundry down there and stuff. Mm-hmm. When we go to my house, we have a bi-level house, so we don't technically have a basement. And I was scared when we moved in there because I was like, we don't have a real basement because the bottom half is half underground and half above ground, so it's technically still safe enough because our tornadoes in Wisconsin are not intense. We can get ones, but for the most part they don't cause crazy damage. There's definitely been some, but anyways, I was scared as a child moving. I was like, we don't have a real basement, what are we gonna do? My mom was like, when has it ever happened that you know, we needed that. But yeah, I have memories as kids, if the thunderstorm is too bad or the tornado sirens are going off, you know, we like in the middle of the night, like my mom being like, come on, we're going in the basement. And we had a spooky basement when I was a kid, so I hated going down there at night, and it was cold.
Gosh.
But yeah, I thought it was so crazy. But yeah, it probably still happens. Will we be there on a Wednesday? Maybe you'll hear it.
Oh, I think I do fly out on a Wednesday.
I don't know. I don't remember it anymore. I just have memories in school. It would go off every Wednesday. Maybe they don't. I don't know.
Well, then I was thinking like the technology.
Wisconsin people, do they still test or maybe that was my town. I don't know. Marshfield, Wisconsin tested it every Wednesday.
I was thinking of the technology, like now everything's just an alert on your phone because everybody has a phone. But back then.
So maybe they don't do it anymore then. You're right.
But back then it was like, I guess what we have to do is make a loud noise. Otherwise, there's no way to.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they don't do it anymore. I'm like so old and I haven't lived there in a long time.
I don't know. But
Marshfield folks, let me know if you're listening.
It was a spooky relic. And then it wasn't just a one-off. There's hundreds of them and they just stayed.
Wow. My town probably had one. Well, it's kind of big. Maybe it had two.
Well, maybe this town has hundreds. Ooh.
Who knows? We're the big city in the area, so.
I'm so excited to go. This is
Juliet's
next month.
Let's do a little burr, 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 burr. Well, this one's not so much an ad because it's already sold out and it's coming up, but Juliet is coming to Wisconsin next month. First part of our trip is to host our incredible Wisconsin retreat. It's going to be like summer camp meets sleepover. We have this huge ass cabin on the lake. We're going to be hanging out around the fire and hanging out in our floaties and kayaking and biking, whatever we please. There's so much fun stuff at that cabin. We'll be hosting a few spells and rituals. We're getting... For the people that want them, we're getting tattoos by Rosemary Ink at rosemaryink.handpoke. is hosting a little tattoo party for us at the retreat. We're so excited. And then Juliet's coming to Marshfield.
I get to see Marshfield.
I'm going to take you to all of our big attractions. The world's biggest round barn.
Okay.
It's not that big, but there's not many round barns.
I can't wait. I want to get a picture.
I've said that to like boyfriends I brought home, and then they come and see it and they're like, it looks like a regular sized barn. I'm like, yeah, but there's barely any round ones, so there you go. I
will be impressed.
We have a pretty cool zoo. It's a small town, but we have a good zoo. And the bears, well, maybe you'll meet my grandparents, and they have a lot to say about the two bears that live at the zoo.
Oh.
It's their favorite topic to talk about, which is quite adorable. And there's some other stuff at the zoo. Oh, the prairie dogs have always been my favorite since I was a kid. Dogs. It's just this sand pit square, and they're popping in and out of it all day. What are our other big things? Well, El Mezcal is the world's best Mexican restaurant. And I know what you're thinking. Sadie, how could the world's best Mexican restaurant be in Marshfield, Wisconsin? Don't fucking argue with me. It is the best. A Mexican family moved to Marshfield and created this restaurant. That's how it's the best. But they very Wisconsin it up with a lot of melted cheese and stuff. It's to die for. We will be going there. And then
do we get to go to your grandparents' farm?
They don't own the farm anymore, but they live next to it. And it's kind of fun to peek through the bushes and watch the Amish family that lives there.
Is that on the retreat itinerary?
Secretly tour. No, we won't be peeking toms on any families, but when we were kids we would always be like, because they sold it when I was like probably like later in my elementary years, like maybe I was like 10 or 11, and so then they live right next door to it. And so this Amish family moved in, and they had kids too. And there was just like a part in the backyard where we would like look at each other, and we were like not sure. We were like, should we ask them to play or whatever? But whenever we try, like I have a bajillion cousins, and I feel like we would be like, hey, then they would just like run off. So we never made contact.
Well, now it's time.
But if you do meet Grandma Marianne, who was the farmer. Her greatest joy in life is she's one of the old ladies of the small town who must know everything.
Oh,
she's got the hot gossip, and even though I know when she's talking about it, it's still very entertaining to listen to. And then she loves she helps drive around the Amish and Mennonite people to like doctor's appointments and stuff. She's her own little taxi cab service, basically.
Oh my gosh, the relaxy taxi.
So she's got all the hot gossip, and not only the loyal, the small town, but also the Amish and Mennonite communities. She knows all about them as well. So she's a hoot and a half. So who knows? My grandma Wepfer has a beautiful garden. Maybe we'll go see that.
Oh my gosh, we have to pack so much into the 2.5 days.
I know, we're gonna be touring.
I want like a full
experience.
I don't want to sleep. I want to see everything Marshfield has
Don't worry,
to
it's
offer.
pretty small, so we'll get through it.
Like 4 hours.
Oh, there's a really cool place called Jurassic Park, and it's this guy's house. He lets you walk through his big yard, and he creates gigantic sculptures out of just random like metal he scrummages, whatever. There's like huge T-Rex, like he makes giant stuff. It's really cool. We can go there. That's most of it. We have interesting stuff though, I will say.
I'm so excited. So excited.
We'll be sure to document it all on our Instagram, and maybe we'll even put together a little like
I think we need to do a Marshfield vlog.
I was gonna say maybe an episode will be a vlog while we're traveling.
That would be really fun.
To see. I'll just get Juliet's reactions of everything.
I'll be like,
that's interesting. I will tell you this: if you don't like El Mezcal, lie to me.
Okay, I promise.
I'll get upset. One time I brought a boyfriend home, and he was like, "Yeah, it's okay," and I swear to God, I just didn't like him anymore after that.
You're like, get out.
There was already problems in the relationship, but that was like the final straw for me. I was like, fuck this.
That did it.
But the thing was, it's not about actually liking it, is that I had talked up that restaurant for months, and he flew home, my ex flew home from California back there, and then he had the audacity, the thing I was most excited about, to say,
rude.
It's like, hey, if someone's that excited, just say,
Yummy.
Oh, and we got to go to Weber's Farm and get ice cream, and you'll see they sell milk in bags.
Oh.
Or bags, as we say in Wisconsin.
Bags.
I can't do it. Bags. There you go. She'll be talking like us in no time.
Oh
no God. Time at all. We'll go on the boat. We'll get some milk and some bags. It's going to be a great time.
So stay tuned. Next month, we will be releasing our exclusive Wisconsin vlog. You'll get to take peeks of our retreat, and maybe it'll inspire you to come to Bali with us next summer.
Beautiful Wisconsin.
You won't get a feel for Bali at all, but you will get a feel for us.
Hey, I think we're going to be a hoot and a half to travel with, so you'll see all of that and more. So we're excited. And yes, the Bali trip is open. It's confirmed. Mm-hmm. We're officially going. We have 8 amazing people coming with us. And we're not only just inviting you, but you can bring your partner, you can bring a friend, you can bring your whole family if you want. We're really excited to not only meet more of you, but meet your loved ones. It's going to be such a good time.
If you want to see some sneak peeks of similar trips hosted by Trova Trip, you can follow Trova Trip. I think there's somebody in Bali right now, and it just looks really amazing, and it's getting me very excited.
Yes, we're very thankful to be partnering with Trova Trip. So the link is in our show notes to check out our itinerary. We're going to be doing lots of fun stuff, plus hosting some really special workshops while we're there. And we just can't wait to see who else is coming along with us.
I know.
And the best part is you can pay in full, or you can make a deposit and have a payment plan. So we made it so easy, so doable for everyone, whatever's in alignment for you. So check it out. Let us know how excited you are. And sign up.
You'll see how fun we are to travel with.
Yes.
And you'll see Sadie's like, I'm gonna go with the flow. And I'll have my nose in the itinerary. excuse me, we need to switch rooms. This room is not clean enough.
The air conditioner doesn't get cold enough.
Yeah, no, we need to move. I get that from my mom. She just doesn't settle, and I respect that.
I respect that very much.
We have limited amounts of our Intuitive Magic Oracle deck because we are about to place the sample order on our new holographic deck.
Should we tell them the full name? Is it time?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so drum roll rate, please. Introducing Goddess Hangs presents Quantum Goddess Holographic Oracle Deck. Maybe we can put a screenshot of it there. So there's some really different, really special features that we're going to continue to tell you more of. I think we'll save the juiciest one for next episode.
Yeah.
But let's share a little bit more about what's going to be in this deck. So
It's so good.
if you have our current deck, you know that it is an oracle deck with symbolic artwork that gives you an intuitive message. This deck is going to be a little bit different. So we have been coaching our Quantum Goddess program, and it's been even more clear, as if it wasn't clear enough already, how amazing our magic works together. Juliet's practical magic with my inner magic. So we wanted to put this into a deck. So we are creating a deck that embraces the inner magic with intuitive led prompts. However, it's a little different than most oracle decks you see on the market. It has Juliet's go-getter energy. So that means there is an action to take with every card you pull.
This deck is perfectly clear instructions. Going through the deck, going through each card is sort of like taking a mini version of Quantum Goddess, having, dipping your toes in the water and getting to enjoy like the amazing results that we're seeing in our program. But we have cards. Can I say
the categories?
The categories?
Yes. So
Okay.
it's almost like we have suits within our deck. So tell them the suits.
Okay. Category 1 is the Love Goddess.
The Love Goddess.
Love Goddess. Category 2 is the Rich Witch.
Ooh.
Cha-ching. Category 3 is the Creatrix.
The Creatrix.
Category 4 is the Shadow Priestess.
Ooh.
Some deep forgiveness and releasing. And category 5 is the Psychic.
The Psychic. So we have these 5 categories, these 5 suits. You'll shuffle your deck. Out pops an area of your life that you are being called to work on. Within these suits, we also have fun categories. So you'll pull either a journaling prompt, an inspired action, a spell or ritual. And is there another one, or are those the 3?
There's one more, but we are keeping it a secret.
Oh, yes. Okay, so when you pull a card, you'll be directed towards one of those areas of life, right? Then you'll see you've pulled either an inspired action, which is basically telling you to go out in the world and do something, a journaling prompt, something that you're meant to reflect on. You can do a voice note for yourself, write it down in your journal, etc. And then a spell or ritual. So that's self-explanatory. It's a spell or ritual. And then the final one that we're gonna keep to ourselves just a little bit longer, but I'm 99.99% sure this has never ever been done before.
I think this is groundbreaking.
It is, and it's
next level.
It's
it
next
takes
level.
the deck to like a 4D space.
Yeah, it's going to be a very deep connection to us. Like, we are going to be even more with you than we are in our current deck, which is so much of our love and our work in that, and brings you much closer to our energy. But this is going to be a whole nother level, and I cannot wait to share with you, but we're going to keep it secret just a little bit longer.
So get excited. We will keep sharing more details soon. Grab our original Intuitive Magic Oracle. We just have a few left at this point. If you want one, now is the time.
And if you want a sneak peek of the new Oracle deck, Quantum Goddess Holographic, make sure you join our email list, because just like last time with our Intuitive Magic Oracle, I'm going to start giving sneak peeks, because every week we post a little oracle reading. So starting this week, if you haven't checked your inbox yet, those of you on our mailing list, take a peek because you're going to get a holographic card in the inbox. So we're going to start using this in our mailing list, oracle readings. So make sure you're on that list. And when you sign up for our mailing list, you also get my magical money spell. So it's a win-win situation.
And speaking of quantum goddesses, last but not least, our 12 weeks, when this airs on Monday, are up. The program is over for round 1 students. The launches, today Mary did her waitlist launch for her Big Magic Mirror crochet items. Almost every item is sold out and will be sold out by Friday. We have Sienna Meadow just did a live virtual concert this past Monday. It was magical. The way that people in our program are truly quantum leaping and seeing it not only in their hearts and in their realities, but like in their numbers. Like you can visually see it in addition to just feeling it. This program is remarkable. We knew it was going to be good. I cannot believe what we created supported what these babes have created. It's unbelievable. And being in this energy, we can't say it yet, but what we did in the past 12 weeks together, unreal. So we're sharing this because number one, we want to congratulate all the graduates. We are going to continue to reshare their work, their accomplishments. We are so proud of all of you. And if you've been seeing this on our stories or hearing about it and you're like, okay, I got to get into round 2. We have already created a super, super early bird waitlist. Just get your name, get your email on there. We will send you more information and you will be so happy that you joined. Like this has been the most life-changing experience for I think every single person, including us.
The being in that energy, like I created Hot Juicy Magic. We created this new deck. We've created other things. It's I'm excited to do round 2 because I'm like, what am I going to create in round 2? What are we going to create in round 2? Because we're kind of doing it along with you. And what's really fun about this program is that we are coaching such a variety of different projects. Like that's been really cool to sort of push myself and learn how to coach outside of like specifically what I do has been really fun and rewarding. And if you're wondering if this program is right for you, we had people join with a fully fledged business and we revamped it and we relaunched it. We had people joining that were like, I want a business. I'm not exactly sure what it is yet, but I want to find out with you in this program. They now have a fully fledged business. So there's a whole, spectrum of future or current biz owners that have entered this space with us and left it with like a fully functioning website, shop, offerings, new confidence in their social media and marketing game. It's pretty remarkable. And, you know, of course we get credit for the amazing program we created, but I just want to give so much credit to all of the Quantum Goddess babes because you put it all into action. Like you did that. We can only do so much. We can give you the tools, but you fucking utilize them to the fullest extent. And we're so proud of you. And we can't wait to see where you all continue to grow into. And I'm so excited to meet the next round and see what kind of projects we get to work on next, because
it's so
holy
fun.
shit.
I mean, if you ever imagined having like 2 visionaries in their own right, like truly combing through your project, your ideas, and in the most supportive, loving way, like helping you strengthen your strengths and like, you know, find opportunities to like, it's such an easy, sell is the wrong word, but it's such an easy invitation because it has been like, I've just been so emotional seeing everybody's success, the 13 people in the program this round.
I think everyone, at least almost everyone, including Juliet and I, have cried from being inspired in this program. It's remarkable. It's so exciting. So thank you all. Thank you to the first round of our Quantum Goddess babes. We love you. We're so proud of you. I also think it would be a fun idea. It might not be ready when we post this, but we should make a cute little directory page on our website.
Oh, I could make that this morning.
In a minute, right?
Yeah.
So I'll post a link. Hopefully I remember. I feel like I always promise to post links and sometimes I remember. But a little directory so you can make sure you check out all of the Quantum Goddess biz babes. Y'all are remarkable. Thank you.
We love you. Now for my silly story.
Yes. We are 40 minutes in and we're not done with catch-up time.
You know what? I'll save this one for next week. You tell me what's new with you.
Okay. Not too much, guys. Don't worry. We'll get to it. Me, I... not feeling good lately.
No.
I've been just feeling like kind of blocked and anxious and emotional and like unfocused. And I've been doing a really good job of like pulling out all of the tricks in my hat. Like I've been doing my like EFT tapping. I've been sitting out in the sunshine. I've been just sort of like making art that has no purpose just for the sake of getting creative. I've been trying to just like walk away when things aren't working. I've been working out. I've been doing so much stuff to try and move through it. And it's just like so fucking frustrating when you're like, I'm taking good care of myself. I'm eating right. I'm still doing this detox, which could be part of it, you know, but I'm like, I'm doing everything right. And I'm not feeling good in it. It's so frustrating and it feels shitty, but I feel like it's passing and it's okay. It was like probably like a 4 or 5 day feeling where I'm just like, ugh, I don't feel good. Why? Like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. So just shout out to all of y'all out there who may have felt that too. It could be freaking the eclipse. It definitely was the most intense on Sunday when the full moon lunar eclipse happened. So just keep using your tools and take care of yourself and rest if that's been you too. But I definitely feel it passing. So I'm excited for that. But I just wanted to make note for anyone else who may have been feeling like that. And then my other big new with me is taking a break from my eyelash extensions.
Oh.
And I'm not pleased about it.
Tell us why.
So I just like intuitively felt like I needed a break from it. I think you're supposed to take a break every once in a while. I don't really know the science, but they weren't staying on as long as they used to. Like they were like shedding more quickly. And I got them off and I still have my eyelashes. They're definitely like slightly more sparse and they're like, I think because they had stuff on them, they're kind of trained more straight. They used to be curlier, but they've had extensions on. So I need to just kind of like train them to be curly again, but they're in pretty good shape.
They look great.
Well, I glued on.
Oh. They look great.
I glued on falsies for this, just half ones.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
But they, you know, it's not like they all fell out, so I had to stop or anything like that. My lash artist takes very good care of me. But we agreed, we're like, let's just take a break and see what happens. But I don't like it. I like waking up and feeling gorgeous. You know how it is.
Well, yeah, now you got me hooked on it.
Well, you just started recently. I did mine for 7 months straight with no break. It was since last November. No breaks. So I was like, you know what? I think I'll pay attention and like every 4 months I'll take a break just to get ahead of it.
How... So you can go in and she can put some solution to remove
she put some
them?
like oil on it, which I have lash oil, so I'm like, oh, maybe I could have done this myself, but I would rather her do it.
No, so there's a way to remove them.
Yeah, she gently removed them. I just went in and she did it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll wake up at some point because I feel that way with my nails right now. Like I was doing my nails all the time and then I was just sick of it.
Yeah.
And I just cut them really short and I was like, I want to play my instruments again. This is not working for me.
My nails have been like over a year ago and I'm still not sick of them being long, but yeah, I feel like I look like my brother.
Sadie,
no eyelashes.
You're the prettiest lady.
I just, yeah, you know, it made me feel so feminine and I I just need to get used to it and it'll be totally fine. And I'm trying to embrace, I had a lot of, I posted on my Instagram stories. I want to thank all of you who reached out with very affirming messages to be like, you look gorgeous. And Mary, our crochet babe, Big Magic Mare, said, you know, you just have that summer fresh babe look. Like she reframed it in the best way. And I was like, bless you, I'm gonna get there. But yeah, so I'm just having a time with that. I'm like, ugh, I miss them already. It's been one day. It's fine. But I'm gonna get them back in a month. I just was like, I'll take a break because they were just shedding really quickly. And then in the middle of June, like I have a wedding and then we're going on the retreat. So I was like, I want to get them back for those things.
Maybe when we go to Bali, we'll both just not have them.
Yeah, because I want to stay for a long time after
right?
that. Yeah. So that's what's new with me. Oh, and I just want to say shout out to Hannah, Flow It Out Creations, because she sent us matching. This is apparently this is the Goddess BFF ring, because so many babes in our Patreon have purchased it. It's like a little heart and a moon wire wrapped ring, and it's so cute.
I love it.
And she sent them to us, so thank you, Hannah.
Hannah. It's so lightweight, and I wear it with like,
it's a cute little adjustable.
My fine jewelry. It's great. It's so comfortable. And you know what's fun? I've been wearing it when I went out dancing and stuff. I kept my fine jewelry at home, and I wore some like more stuff like this that would just be like easy, and I wouldn't be like, I guess, afraid of someone ripping it off my hand. Yeah. So I don't know. It's like a super cute, like everyday. I love it. I love it. I love it. So thank you.
Okay. Without further ado, now that we've had you here for an hour. 47 minutes. Let's talk about signs you are a witch.
Signs you never knew you are a witch.
Okay, so let's get this out of the way. The first sign that you're a witch, and the most important sign, and the only sign that actually matters. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
If you want to be a witch, you're a witch.
Easy as that.
It's easy. There's no test or quiz there's no BuzzFeed quiz that you take and you're like, it said I wasn't, so I guess not. No, the number one thing is like, you feel called. I mean, I think truth be told, we're all witches, and it's just whether you want to embrace the term or not. So maybe the word witch doesn't work for you, but we're going to keep saying witch, but think of like magical babe, mystic, whatever feels juicy and good to you. That's what we mean here. And basically it means someone who embraces their magic and is tuned in to the magic all around them.
There's no gatekeeping with witchcraft. And anyone who's like, sorry, you're not a real witch, you can always come sit at our table. You belong at our table.
And then we'll all flip them the bird together.
Those I was going to be like, we'll send them love and hope they get nicer.
I'm flipping them in the bird with the love.
The bird of love.
With love, though.
It's like a middle finger, but it flies.
Juliet, you didn't let me finish. I meant with love.
Oh, forgive me.
I'm just being a ham.
So I love that. You just simply claim it and decide it. Brilliant.
These are just sort of more like fun things that I think a lot of us tend to have in common. And when we sort of look back at like our childhood and sort of I feel like my 20s just really coming into myself, like these are things that I find I have in common with a lot of fellow magical babes. Do you want to start with the next one?
Yeah. So, okay. Now again, if you don't relate to all of these, it's fine.
Totally. This is for fun.
Number one is the only one that you need to truly relate to, but you'll probably relate to most of these. So if you have an odd obsession with the moon, the phases of the moon, oh my gosh, it's a full moon. Let's go sit in the moonlight. Let's look at the stars.
Yep.
Anything truly with like...
And the sun, I think.
Oh, and the sun.
I'm more obsessed with the sun than the moon, honestly, I think.
I remember hearing about light codes and how like the sun is delivering like information to us. And it sounds kind of woo-woo, but like it is delivering information to us because our bodies create vitamin D out of, like, there is a level of information, however you want to look at it.
I'm such a sunshine girl. That's why I have to like live here or somewhere else where it's sunny like 90% of the days out of the year. Yeah, I agree. I wrote obsessed with the moon, sun, or stars, and feeling a connection, like not just saying that, well, you can just say they're pretty, but I just feel like there's like this like need, this draw, this undeniable connection, whether it's all of these things or one of them. Like for me, I have just undeniable connection with the sun. When the sun is shining, it doesn't matter what's going on in my life. I will feel joy when I go out and stand in that sun and it's beaming on my skin. Whatever is going on with me, that will melt away for that time that I'm standing in it. And the same, I think people have that same draw to like the moon, the stars, the way the planets move. I mean, we're in Mercury in retrograde right now. I feel like we've all been experiencing like technology issues and maybe restlessness around the full moon. Like we are really connected, and I think it's just an awareness of it.
I also think an interest in astrology could mean that you're a witch.
You a witch.
If you're chatting about your rising sign and your moon sign, like the chances are pretty high, and it's a good thing. Moon, sun, stars, planets, heavenly bodies, astrology indicates a witch is nearby.
I think so. So one that I thought about so I feel like a lot of witches, maybe not all, but a lot, are interested in sort of like, quote, taboo subjects like death or like sexuality. Because I think when you're a witch, you're really in tune with our sense of being. Like you want to understand like what it is to be human and like why we exist and like the full spectrum of human experiences. Because I was always like, and I'm grateful I had a mom that didn't like withhold. She would explain everything to me from a young age, but like I was always asking tons of questions about sex. Like I was so interested, and it wasn't because I wasn't like raised like from her perspective. She didn't raise me to think it was dirty. It was more from like school and stuff that I got that from. But she was amazing. She just sort of tell me matter of factly. I remember like some TV show said something about phone sex, and I had recently asked her about what sex was, and I was like, phone sex, you know? And I asked her about that, and she very matter of factly explained that to me. Like she just was amazing. And the same thing with death too. I remember from a young age asking lots of questions about that, wanting to understand. I mean, I was the kid in Catholic school that was like wanted to understand like from a functional standpoint, like operational standpoint. Like I know you talk about heaven, but what happened? Like I wanted to understand like what it all meant and how it all worked. And I feel like that's a commonality with a lot of witches too.
There's an openness to not just the light, but the shadows and the darkness and the deeper things. I love that. I think that's so spot on.
Yeah, because it's just like, I don't know, I think once you begin to get curious about who you are and why you exist and your purpose and all that stuff, it's sort of a natural rabbit hole to go down to be interested in just sort of our way of being as like a whole, as like a human race, or as like, I don't know, like, yeah. So that trails into those sort of things that I feel like nowadays we talk about them more, but like when we were kids, it was like, no, like we pretend like the dog went to the farm. We don't tell you what death is. We pretend a stork brings the baby. We don't explain what sex is. But I think having a curiosity with that and wanting a greater understanding, I feel like that's a common thing with witches.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's your next one?
I thought about a couple, and I think I'm going to say there's like some type of desire on the opposite side of death to see things like grow and be born. So whether that's through gardening and like watching something grow and be born there, whether you're like an animal lover, whether you are just really close with children, or you're a mother, like there's something about like the process of, I feel like, becoming that feels very witchy to me.
Yeah.
And just intuitively, that's my other one, like being very intuitive, like knowing what another needs, what you need, like what needs to be done. Intuition and a level of nurturing in whatever way feels right for you feels very witchy to me.
Yeah, to go hop on that, and it's sort of on the same wavelength, like healers. Like if you are very natural at like healing, maybe you're a Reiki healer, maybe you've gone into like nursing or being a doctor or whatever it is. I feel like when you're like a natural healer, you're called to heal others. That's witchy to me. Because it's like, how do I don't know, because you like a witch, you're using like the earth elements, the things around you to make something happen. And to heal somebody, it's the same thing to me. You're like utilizing herbs or medicines, dressings for wounds, whatever it is, like to be a natural healer. I feel like not all witches may be natural healers, but I think that's a common thing I noticed too. The other thing is like we love mixing shit.
Oh yeah.
Cooking, creating like perfumes, oils, candles. There are so many amazing babes creating like such cool candles in our Discord. Soaps. Just like mixing things in general. And like when I was a kid, I think the majority of us did this. We were like mixing mud pies with like mud and twigs and sticks and whatever we found, and we were like, it's a potion. There's just this, I don't know what it is. I mean, I think it's tying back into like, we want to know what happens when we put things together and like why it happens and what its purpose is, right? Like when we're like cooking stuff, it's like, how does it nourish us and how does it taste? And maybe there's healing properties to it. Creating like perfumes or oils that you put on your body or soaps. It's like, what will these smells make the person wearing it feel like, or the person, there's aphrodisiacs and perfumes to like make others be drawn to you. Like all of that is like so witchy to me. And I don't know why. Why do we like to mix things?
I think it's kind of empowering.
Yeah.
Like, look what I've created.
Right. And it has this like either like magnetism, or it has like some sort of power to it, whether it's magnetism or healing or whatever it is. Like it's like, how do I mix things? And these things on their own didn't have this power, and when I put them together, like a power has been born.
I just thought of I just lost it actually. It was so good. Well, what I will say is I think another sign you may be a witch is you're sensitive. And I don't mean you have to walk around and like have flowers in your hair, but there's like a heightened sense of sensitivity. You're able to perceive things. It's tied to the intuition. You feel things on maybe a bigger level, a deeper level. Darn it, what was the other one? It was so good.
I don't know. Those are all the notes I made.
And cooking.
Mixing things to create a power.
Oh, I said if you feel drawn to Halloween, you might be a witch.
That's very true.
It's just like a spooky, magical night.
Well, and the veil is very thin, so that's, we feel drawn to it.
I wrote if you are very creative.
Yeah, definitely.
Always channeling ideas and inventions and creations and art. It's very witchy. So many things that we don't realize are witchy are actually
That's
very
the thing.
witchy.
Everything.
I remembered. But finish your thought.
I was just gonna say everything is witchy if you decided it. Like that's what the thing is. Like you're a witch if you decide you're a witch, and then everything in your life can be witchy because it's just about living intentionally at the end of the day. Okay, what's the thing before I forget?
It was if you put meaning on every little thing. Like if I see a grasshopper jump in front of me, I'm like, oh, it's a sign.
Yes. It's
sign. If everything's a sign and everything has a meaning, and if the hawk goes left instead of right, and and the eye's twitching, what does that mean? Let's look it up. If you prescribe meaning to everything, you're probably a witch.
I love that because, and I've said this just generally about magic too, it's like for people that are like sort of like you're like sort of like poo-pooing at like really like you think everything's a sign, oh like you think
yes I do,
you think it's magic. I'm like, even if it's not a sign, the thing could be a random thing that has coincidentally crossed my path, but if I see it as a sign and I assign meaning to it and it gives me a sense of hope and conviction and validation that keeps me going, that's it is a sign. It's a sign if you assign it. Like that's it. That the point of a sign is to like keep you going or validate you or just support you. So it's like, yeah, if I see something and I'm like, that's, if I see a rainbow and the whole city sees it, but I'm like, that's for me, and it makes me I don't know, quit my job and pursue my passions. Like, fuck yeah, that rainbow is for you, and it was for whoever else it told whatever other message too. Like, it doesn't, like, it is real because you decide it's real, and it's not real if you don't believe in it and you don't. But the magic is undeniable and the power of signs is undeniable when you decide and when you work with it. It's and it is real because we've had just the craziest shit happen to us.
It doesn't add up, my friends. It doesn't add up.
It doesn't make sense.
No.
It's so, and I can't wait to someday be able to explain this to you all more in depth. Just fucking trust us. But just some of this shit we're working on, you guys, it doesn't make sense. And how, like, in the chain of events, there has to be some hand nudging us in these right directions, because it's just, and it's because we decided that we were open to it. We were like, hey, look, universe, we want the intuitive nudges. We want to be in the right place at the right time. We want to know what to say. We want to give the supportive messages. We want to impress the right people. We want to connect. We want to whatever. And then, like, the universe was like, cool, okay, and sent us on our way. It's just, it's undeniable.
I was just pondering some rules that we could add at this moment.
Oh, rules. Okay.
Like, witches are good-hearted, kind-hearted people.
Yes.
Witches are abundant and generous.
Yes.
Witches truly allow themselves to love themselves and be in their power and authenticity.
Yes.
We are redefining witchcraft here on Goddess Hangs.
It's pink, it's sparkly, or it's whatever color and whatever level of sparkle you want it to be. There's no way it looks, there's no way it acts or sounds or is. It's what you make of it and the magic that you bring into your life if you feel called to embrace that part of you. Because I think we're all witches, I think we're all psychic, I think we're all incredibly powerful magical beings, and it's just like, if you want to embrace it, you can, and if it's not calling to you, like, that's okay too. But I would recommend embracing it. It's really fun.
It's really fun. I'm such a, like, Sadie's a jump into the freezing cold pool person, and I'm like a one toe at a time kind of human. In a lot of in other ways, I'm very, like, go-gettery, but, like, when it comes to, like, me as a person and a personality, I'm like, with business, I'm very go-getting. But it took me a long time to, like, warm up to this word because of all these things that I thought it meant, or I felt like, oh, I wasn't witch enough to claim it. And now I'm like, what? Of course I am. Like,
big news, Juliet has my beautiful witch sticker on her phone case, so it's really, really official now.
I know, and I felt so good and normal putting it on. I was like, oh, look at me just claiming this.
Yes.
So warm up, feel into it. It is, you know, when done correctly, the most loving, wonderful, fun thing you can probably ever do for yourself is declare that you're a witch and join a community of witches who support you, whether you are one or aren't one, or, you know, because even in our community, there's plenty of people who don't like say they're a witch
and don't shout witch from the rooftop.
And we're like, cool, it's fine. Like, it's, you know, it's just about at the end of the day, what words, what phrases, what identities make you feel the most you, make you feel empowered. If this is one of them, great. If there's something else, as I burp, excuse me, great. Yeah. Also, if you like cats, you're probably a witch.
That's true. All animals, but especially cats, because cats are so, I mean, I think a lot of animals are so intuitive. I've definitely had experiences with horses and dogs too, but cats, like their purrs are like a frequency that heals you. Cats are witches, obviously. Their purrs are a frequency that heals you.
They meditate.
So crazy. But yeah, like yesterday I was just having a good cry and Boo like came, just sat on my lap and stared at me, and then I like was like, oh, she wants me to lie down, so I lied down and she just purred on my chest, and she doesn't purr very much either. She really picks and chooses her times.
What an angel.
And then she got up and she had a dingleberry hanging out of her butt.
The whole time that
we had this beautiful romantic time, and the whole time I was like, God, it really smells like shit. But I'm crying and my cat's laying with me and I'm happy. And then she got up and turned around and walked away, and there was a dingleberry the size of a silver dollar hanging off. And it was just hanging there, and then I got up and I went to pull it out, and it was attached to a hair, and I had to pull it out, and it was awful. So she really pulled me out of my funk, though.
She gave you a number of gifts.
I was like, she was laying on me with that huge It didn't get on me though, thankfully. But yeah, it was really special and then really gross very quickly. So I just, like, as I began that story, I forgot about the dingleberry. And then as I was like, oh shit, that was when the dingleberry.
That story took a really quick turn.
It took a really quick turn. You know, it's a little bit sweet and a little bit gross. And that's Boo, if I ever had a description for her. She's like a little Sour Patch Kid.
Yes, absolutely. Witches have a great sense of humor.
Yes, they do. Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, in summary, these were a few fun things we thought we noticed. I mean, we have a whole community of goddesses, witches, magical, mystical babes, whatever title they love the most. And so we've just seen, of course, a lot of commonalities, and these are a lot of things that jumped out to us. Oh, of course, like a love for crystals.
Crystals.
Love for oracle decks, pendulums, things that you get to play a game with your intuition with, tarot. There's so many things that we all have in common.
Giant salt lamps.
Remember
that time, everybody, when I called Home Goods every day for 2 weeks until they restocked, and I bought
this one right here,
5 of them.
Yeah.
And I kept 2, and I
got one.
You got one, and Irene was making so much fun of me. She's like, oh my, then she saw them in person. She's like,
they're gorgeous.
I'm going to take the one on the right.
Yeah, we have 3 of them because we had gotten 2 in the living room, and then Juliet saw them and she was like, oh my gosh. But there was only 2 at that store at the time. Or no, there was 3 and we gave one to Craig's sister or something. Doesn't matter. Anyways.
You like butterflies, hummingbirds.
Britney
Spears. Oh, no, I'm just talking about me.
Witches love Britney Spears.
The early 2000s aesthetic.
I'm curious to hear from you all. Do you embrace the term witch? If you didn't before, did this episode make you think about wanting to? Or if it's not calling to you, what's like your favorite fun title for yourself? And I'm also curious, are you more like me and you jumped fully into the witch title, or did you dip your toes in the water and slowly decide that you wanted the witch title?
Should we ask that question again to be abundantly clear what we mean by that question?
No passive-aggressive comments, please.
This is not an opportunity to say that you prefer one of us more than the other. Albeit that might come naturally. I don't know. But Yeah, are you more like all in like Sadie, or are you sort of, have you taken your time?
With the witch thing specifically. We're not asking about other things. Specifically. I shouldn't have asked the question. Never mind. No, just kidding. Feel free to let us know.
Just journal on it and then burn it at your own risk. I don't want to know anymore.
Shout out. Yeah, I mean, we should ask more questions like that during Mercury in retrograde. People don't get the prompt. I forgot.
But remember, Mercury retrograde, a time to enjoy and relax.
Find the luxury in Mercury in retrograde. We should start a spa and it's only open during Mercury in retrograde.
Oh, like a pop-up? Hang on a second. That's a brilliant idea.
Coming to a flea market near you, Los Angeles.
Oh my God, only open during Mercury retrograde. We have massages, manicures, pedicures, a Reiki room. I don't know.
Love it. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we'd also love to hear from you if you are in the Los Angeles County / Southern California area. We're thinking about maybe hosting some live events in the area. So just reach out to us and say, hey, I'm around. If you would ever consider either traveling to LA, it'd be like a workshop. It wouldn't be a full-on retreat, multiple days or anything. So this would be like if you're down to take a day trip or you're in the area type vibe. Let us know because we are thinking about doing that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there because I thought of it.
Well, that's it for today.
Folks.
Smooth transition.
1 hour of other stuff and 10 minutes.
Hey, no, they got 20 minutes.
You got 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Make sure you're following us on Instagram at Goddess Hangs. I am Sadie Olson.
I'm at Juliet.Piper.
Check out our website, goddesshangs.com. It's cute. It has everything you need there.
We have new merch, including a fuzzy throw blankie.
It's really, when I opened it, I was like, oh my God, it's really soft.
Yeah, it is an incredibly nice blanket. And I keep running into blankets that are shedding all over my house. It's a disaster. But this blanket is nice quality. Very excited about it.
So check out our new giant blankets with our faces on it.
Put it on your bed.
You never knew you needed. Send us pictures if you get one. We'll send you a little gift because that's too good.
Yes, thank you.
And what else was I gonna say?
We have an amazing Patreon. This is last call to join the deity workshop we're hosting on the last Wednesday of the month. We're gonna teach you our magical ways of connecting with deities. You're gonna hear some behind the scenes stories. I've got a few stories and Sadie has some really juicy stories. No surprise there. Has some really juicy stories.
I just haven't felt called to share it super publicly yet. You had very juicy hair stories. You just shared them.
There's a couple that I'm still keeping under my sleeve.
Yes.
Up my sleeve.
You get the inside scoop on our own deity work, plus learning how to reach out, connect with the deity yourself in a safe, supportive way. So we're so excited to get to chat with everyone in our coven about that.
We want to thank again 76 Gasoline for
free
sponsoring
gas
this episode. Just kidding. They're not associated, although you could email us. We would love to work with you.
What else was I gonna say? Oh my God, we're going to freaking Bali in like 400 days or something. Countdown bot. Countdown bot.
How many days? Countdown bot. Countdown
bot. How many days to Bali? Inside joke with the Patreon, with the Bali retreat.
Join the Patreon.
That was the
You're
retreat
love
attendees chat. That was the ultra exclusive chat.
There's like almost 80 of us in the Patreon. Get in now. We know everybody by name. We're having such a fun time. We chat every day with everyone in there.
And make sure you check out the trip itinerary. Ask us questions if you have them about Bali. We're so excited to welcome you into that trip. And Quantum Goddess Round 2, the super early bird waitlist, is open. So make sure you hop on that link in the show notes. You'll get first dibs. There's limited spots in this program. That's what I want to really drive home. We only take 13 babes because Juliet and I individually comb through every single project, like every page of the website, every button, your social media, whatever other things that are a part of your business. So like we can only take on so many people. So this is a very limited program. It's very, very high touch from us.
Yes.
So make sure you're on that wait list so you get first dibs. And there will be an early bird price because we love treating y'all. Anything else that I missed?
I think that about does it.
We did it.
We did it. We made it.
Episode 76.
Woo!
All right. See you, witches. See you, goddesses.
Bye.
Bye.